All right. Um, I wish that I know where to begin. So I'm just going to begin. There's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about that there's so much to talk about. Many conversations that were supposed to have been had have been swept under the rug for a long time. And therefore, there's a lot of things that are overdue for conversation, long overdue for conversation. Um, we have all lost so many people in our lives. For so long, we have been losing so many people in our lives that it has altered the way in which we interact with the people that we have living, the people that we have physically living, people that are still physically with us. I am here because it is my responsibility to not only speak on this matter, but to pursue, by the grace of God, its end. And by its end, I mean the pursuit of understanding the origin of not in an investigative manner, but for the sake of closure and understanding and um, acceptance and knowing so that one can forge a new path, one that is hopefully, prayerfully better than the path forged yesterday. I am a father. I am a brother. I am a husband. I am a friend. And I am also a child. And because I am a father now and no longer a child, I see clearly now. The paths that I've taken in my life in the past that had led to not only pain, loss, and destruction um, in my life, but in the lives of many people that I came in contact with on my journey, on my path. I burned many bridges, many paths. And therefore, I made it very hard, almost impossible for myself to be able to find myself. What I mean is, in the course of trying to live life, on the path or on the verge of living, disconnected. Connected. Power off. I made so many mistakes in my past life, and those mistakes added up to or culminated to what will become the experience that I would experience in this life. Um, I can go on just ramping or rambling about many things, but uh, let me start with gratitude. I am grateful that I'm not in the kind of pain that I was yesterday. I'm grateful that I'm up today. I'm grateful that I'm giving another chance in life. Mm. Let me repeat that. I am grateful for life. I'm grateful for the opportunity to experience life in this body. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share my story. I'm grateful for the opportunity to I'm grateful for the opportunity to fail and to grow. I suppose I am what you will call a failure from all standards of life. A, I am struggling in my career as far as seeking and finding permanent employment, one that is rewarding and one that allows for me to be able to take care of my family. I have been broken for so long as a result of the weight of my sins, essentially. For I have gone many years, many years, doing things that were unbelievable. I am a I am an alcoholic. I'm a drug addict. I'm addicted to pornography. I was addicted to pornography. I was a drug addict. And I was an addict. But no, that's not the only reason why I twitch. I twitch because of the drugs, that's one, but I also twitch because of stimuli or sensations or any sound. Sounds stimulate my brain or my mind. Um, so yeah, there are several reasons why I twitch, but I'm learning that through the repetition of prayer, I can activate the power of forgiveness. Um, I'm learning that prayer is something that is a daily ritual. Cleansing that is no different than brushing one's teeth or taking a bath or shower. I guess I, like many others, I would say, was raised a Christian, but somewhere along the line, like many others, I too began to stray from the faith and just found myself in a kind of a quicksand of my own um, making. And there, I began to drown in my own delusions and sin. The first delusion that I adopted as a sin, I believe, must have been idol worship. And by idol worship, I mean, I, once upon a time, I was, or I was in a loving, righteous, holy path and relationship with the divine. Um, and then I tempted. I was tempted by power, by greed, by gluttony, by selfishness, by envy, by narcissism. I became perverted in my thoughts and my desires. I became extremely selfish. Like the term implies, a fish that is self, that focuses on self, or selfish, or a fish that is in a cell. I found myself isolated just as, a prisoner in a cell. And there's an ancient symbol of a serpent. It's an ancient symbol of a serpent that coils. It's an ancient symbol of a serpent that coils, revealing the serpent eating its own tail. One serpent consuming its own tail to suggest a kind of cannibalism or something of the self. It's hard making YouTube videos because you think I have to edit, I have to capture, I have to be on point. And I guess all of that decoration usually is to attract or to appeal to the mass audience. I'm trying to attempt to, or I'm attempting to try again publicly, even if I fail or fall short of the glory, even if I'm not able to say the right things at the right time. I want to attempt again, but by not attempting again, I'm conceding to permanent defeat. And if you ask me, what is the attempt and or contest, since I use the term defeat? Well, the contest is a wrestle. It is a spiritual battle, what in Islam we call a jihad. And the spiritual battle is essentially a conflict that is waged within one's own soul. And it is a war, a civil war that is taking place within me, within the person, the being, the individual, the supposed self or the me. Now, just like a drug addict that goes into or checks into rehab, the two people that check into rehab within that man generally, there's the man that is willing to do whatever it takes to emerge victorious, having conquered the other man, and or subdued the other man, and or established some kind of synchronicity or a working dynamic between that man and the other. Within that self, again, this is the duality that's taking place within the same being. A civil war, a jihad, a conflict of souls or a spirit within a soul, if you will, or a conflict of paradigms or perspectives within a mind, within a spirit, bound within a soul, or spirit, soul, or one. You understand that idea. Essentially, that conflict is what will lead to, when that man checks into that rehab facility, only one man checks out. When those two men within that man check into that rehab facility, only one man will check out. So it's similar to an arm wrestle between two strongmen, right? Where one is using the right and one is using the left. And essentially the goal is to see who would emerge victorious, who has a stronger arm. I am positive that I that the right version of me emerged victorious. Last year I spent 70 days in a rehab facility, all in the effort, goal, attempt to rehabilitate me. The objective is to get me to a place where I have a heightened level of discipline and awareness, therefore having the mental spiritual muscle or the stamina to be able to combat or to stand strong before temptations, especially those that come to strip me of my um, being. So where do temptations come from? Well, they are ancient, ancient habits that have been over many, many years have been branded into me. And by branded, I mean just as, a farmer would take a cast iron, put it in the fire, and then brand a cattle. Those behaviors, those thoughts, those temptations that often come in the form of thoughts have ruled my life for a very long time. So I guess in summary, you can say I am a seeker, was a seeker rather. Today, I feel more like a Christian than anyone else or any other religion on earth. Simply because of the premise of resurrection or the resurrection of the Christ. And also reinforced by the beauty, the simplicity, the strength, the mercy, the power of forgiveness that was literally given to us, given to me. I when I look at the world today, I'm generally in tears. Um, Not to say that that will continue or that's you know, that's where I will remain, but for most of my life, this lifetime, When I gaze upon the world, I see imperfections. And those imperfections bring me to tears, which brings me to repentance, which brings me closer to God. Why? Not because I'm some kind of closer to God because I repented or I wasn't closer before repenting, but it clears my own eyes to be able to see the beauty, the love of God is already there. It's almost like someone who has bad eyesight, but by praying, they get clarity. So my mother was the one that taught me how to pray, that programmed prayer in me at a young age, that taught me how to read, that taught me how to sing. But most importantly, my mother was the one that taught me how to pray. And she said to me, prayer is the key. Prayer is the master key, she says. Master key. Only today I understand what a master key means. For you can't enter the gates of heaven without a master key, can you? And for him, if prayer is that master key, then that's the will, or that's the weapon, or that's the tool, or that's the technology that I must use in order to find my way back in the kingdom. So, as Christ said, seek ye first the kingdom, and all other things. Will be added unto you. Like I said, uh, um, I'm twitching because um, of the drugs, but I'm also twitching because of reasons that honestly I don't know. Sometimes I feel like doing the drug, like smoking weed, just so that I can lessen the twitching. Sometimes, especially sometime in the beginning. Um, by beginning, I mean when it started 4 years ago. But I know that it's not entirely caused by the drug or me smoking marijuana and tobacco. Entirely. I know that it's probably stimulated by that, and it's probably stimulated by other factors that I probably don't even have any idea on or of. So I take it as uh, that's just where I am in life right now. So I'm grateful. Now, I used to be, believe it or not, I used to be a jealous, wicked, envious, selfish, evil God. And I say God because that was all that was around. And so I knew that I was a part of everything that was around. Therefore, I too was a part of God. Imagine you were born, or you go to bed and you wake up in a paradise place where, the water is blue, sky blue, everything looks beautiful, and you're convinced that this is like everything is in place, it's perfect, peaceful, loving, kind. Vegetation, weather, everything is intact. Almost as if the Spirit of God was breathing upon the waters there. And then imagine after a while coming to that same place and finding it corrupt or polluted. Only you've forgotten how the place became corrupt or polluted. And in your mind, you initially assume, well, who did this?